Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
One of the country's most prolific sex offenders has admitted to using fake IDs to coerce more than 50 people into performing sex acts online, often threatening them with blackmail. Dr. Matthew Falder, an eminent scientist at the University of Birmingham, pleaded guilty to more than 130 sex offences against boys, girls, men and women. The Cambridge University graduate was caught after a long and complex investigation by the National Crime Agency. Martin Brunt is at Birmingham Crown Court for us. Martin, tell us more about the background to this case, if you would.
Matthew Falder led an extraordinary secret double life, most of it at Cambridge University, where he was a star student. When he wasn't studying for his degree and his doctorate as a geophysicist, he was surfing the internet, fooling his innocent and often young victims into performing degrading and humiliating acts of sex abuse. And when he'd got those images sent to him, he blackmailed them and forced them to go even further. There's more of this in my report.
Jenny, I'll be so proud of you, man.
At Cambridge University, Matthew Falder revelled in the social side of student life. He was determined to impress his academic peers. He excelled too in the lecture room. After 6 years of scientific study, he was Dr. Matthew Falder. But for all of that time, he'd led a secret double life as a prolific online sex abuser of children and adults. Falder wasn't interested in touching his victims. He wanted to watch them abusing themselves or others. Matthew Falder used many false identities to contact his victims through internet marketplaces such as Gumtree. With a variety of approaches, he won his victims' confidence and began the grooming process. He got them to send him depraved photographs, which he then shared with others on illegal sex abuse forums, the dark web. There were more than 50 victims. Girls, boys, women and men. He wasn't choosy. He committed crimes over 8 years at least. He admitted sexual exploitation of a child, inciting a child into sexual activity. He created and shared indecent images of children. He encouraged rape. Some of his victims he blackmailed. As a geophysicist, Dr. Falder used cameras for field work, sometimes unintentionally filming himself. He made the same mistake installing hidden cameras to spy on his victims.
Dr. Matthew Falder pleaded guilty today to 137 offences. His sole objective was the humiliation and degradation of young and vulnerable victims across the UK. He tried to hide in the dark net. Through an international investigation, working with our partners, we've found him and we've caught him.
Falder has led a privileged life. A fee-paying public school set him on the road to Cambridge. His family home is in Cheshire. Their neighbours include football and television stars. Falder's father told us, "This has turned our lives upside down. It came as a complete shock, and the family is totally devastated." To help trace and identify Falder, specialists at GCHQ, the government's communications spy centre, were brought in. So too were other agencies. He was arrested in June at Birmingham University, where he worked as a researcher. He's expected to be jailed for several years. Martin Brunt, Sky News.
There's been reaction tonight from the two universities where Matthew Falder spent so much of his time. Birmingham University said in a statement it was shocked by the abhorrent nature of Falder's crimes. And Cambridge University, where he spent 9 years, said this, that they were deeply shocked and saddened and were offering to support by anybody who was concerned about the case. Indeed, some of Falder's friends during his days at Cambridge University were among his victims.
OK, thank you, Martin.
An academic at Birmingham University, said to be among Britain's most prolific paedophiles, has pleaded guilty to blackmailing adults and children online into carrying out degrading sexual acts. Matthew Falder, 28 years old and a Cambridge graduate, admitted more than 100 offences. It took 30 minutes to list them all. Our Midlands correspondent Seema Katecha is at Birmingham Crown Court. Seema, the crimes listed are horrific. What more can you tell us?
Well, Dr. Matthew Falder, Fiona, lived and worked here in Birmingham. In 2010, he began a secret life online. He pretended to be a female artist, and by doing that, he manipulated his victims into sending him naked pictures of themselves. Now, today, he pleaded guilty to 137 charges, including encouraging the rape of a minor and posting and distributing indecent images of children online. Now, the CPS said in a statement, Matthew Falder is a highly manipulative individual who used his knowledge of computers and the internet to persuade dozens of young people to supply him with degrading images he could distribute online and subsequently use in blackmailing them. The statement goes on to say he clearly enjoyed humiliating his victims, and the impact of his offending, which carried on over several years, has been significant. Falder will be sentenced in December.